Hi, I'm Pastor Paul Marzahn, and today we're going to talk a little bit about, in our team partnership class, what it means to understand what a United Methodist is. Now, some of you may be studying this as in conjunction with our first or two sessions. Some of you might be studying it later. Some of you might be watching it at YouTube at home. But today's section is to talk a little bit about Methodism. Well, Methodism got its name from a guy named John Wesley, the founder. And he started a social club with his friends, and they had kind of a method of discipleship. So his friends kind of made fun of him, sort of like the word church nerd or church geek. They said, you know what? You guys are a bunch of Methodists. You're up early in the morning studying the scripture. You have this holy club you're doing. And so they kind of called them that, and the name kind of stuck. So they were also called the enthusiasts because they would get excited during worship. Imagine that, getting excited about Jesus. Oh man, terrible things. So the United Methodists, which we are now called today, is a merger of many of these movements of John Wesley that were founded, some German, some English, some combinations with Moravians. And so this discussion you'll have today kind of looks at what is exactly a Methodist. And so you'll find this section, what is a United Methodist, in our team partnership manual. You'll also see what does the United Methodist believe, kind of our basic tenets of the faith. And we actually have a book called the Book of Discipline that you can look at in class. It's rather large, and it actually lists all of our stances on just about every social justice issue, to political issues, to theological issues. And so we listed some of those here, but if you want more information, you can check out that book from our Crossroads library. One of the main emphases that I really love about being a Methodist is the fact that we believe in both faith and good works. John Wesley called it personal piety and social holiness. It's the 1-2 punch. And it's very much living out what Jesus said, is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so one of the heritages of the United Methodist movement is that the group of people that call themselves Methodists believe very strongly that you need to have a heart for Jesus, but a heart for the community. And so wherever you find a Methodist presence, you'll find people that love God, but also put their faith into practice. You'll see that here, especially at Crossroads. We have a mission bus because we want to be able to do mission work. We have often a mission offering at least once a month, and we have mission projects sometimes several times per month. And we also encourage every small group to be connected in missions. So you'll find that part of being a Methodist is seeing yourself more as a missionary than a member, because that's what John Wesley said. It's about going into the world and engaging people with personal piety and social holiness. So we hope that discussion will be good. The part that's a little bit more detailed is about kind of how do we govern ourselves. And the United Methodist movement was governed and started in 1776. Does that sound like it rings a bell? Because the Methodist movement in the United States were basically set up judicially the same. There's three branches: the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. They elect bishop every for 2 4-year terms. All this sound familiar, like our president? And so you'll see a lot of similarities between the way the Methodists govern themselves and we govern ourselves as a nation, kind of as a democratic society. Up until that time, things were much more done, more the Catholic model of bishops and appointees, and then also the congregational model, which is everything was done by the local church. The United Methodists kind of merged the Catholic model with the congregational model in terms of governance and structure. So we hope you'll enjoy that section on United Methodism. And if you have any questions, you can always come back to myself or others to get more information about what it means to be a United Methodist.